Hello everyone, welcome to the latest video in our European Elite series where we take a look at some of the best lists of players to have graced the game of volleyball across Europe in the last few years. Today we're going to do the best 5 non-European female players to have played in the Champions League in the last 20 years. And alongside me I've got 3 great guests to pick the list with me. I've got Massimo Barbolini, of course multiple Champions League winner. He's joining us from Perugia. Hello Massimo.
Hello to everybody, hello.
I've got Marco Motta, the Brazilian. He's joining us from Istanbul, of course, coach of Eczacıbaşı.
Hello for everybody.
And Avital Selinger also joining us, who's working now for the Dutch Federation, of course, long-time coach with the national team of the Netherlands and has won multiple titles across the continent as well. Hello, Avital.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Okay, guys, we've got this list, a short list at the moment. We want to narrow it down and then pick the top 5 players from outside of Europe to have played in the Champions League in the last 20 years. So let's go to Massimo first of all. Massimo, who is your first pick in this list?
I start with one setter. I start with Elia Souza Fofao. I think that she was one of the best setter in the world. I was lucky to work with her in 3 seasons. Imagine that when she arrived in Italy, in 3 seasons, she won 2 championships, 2 Italy Cup, and 1 Champions League. So I appreciate a lot this player for her simplicity to work. It seems like everything was easy for her. And also, I appreciate a lot because she was one setter that she was playing for the team, not for her. She was trying to do every time the best for the team, maybe not doing something unbelievable situation, even if there's unbelievable solutions, even if she can. But she was playing for the team, and I think that she deserves absolutely to be in the list of the best player that played in the last 20 years the Champions League in Europe.
Okay. From one Brazilian to another, Marco, who is your first nomination?
Jordan Larsson, 2 times Champions League champion for 2 different teams. She played in Kazan, she played also in Eczacıbaşı. And she's a complete player, no? Receiver, spiker, is a dominant player. And for a long time, she lead different teams in the Champions League. And also, she's MVP in 1 edition of the Champions League. 2014-2015, my nomination go to Jordan Larsson.
So many American players have played in Europe over the last 20 years as we're talking now. As an English person myself, looking at the Americans, we always say they have an amazing mentality. They're so strong, you know, when they're playing sport. Is that fair?
Yes, I agree. It's a good school. They come also from Europe to develop themselves. They come young. They come almost 24, 23 years old, and many of them become star in the world. It's a good school and good volleyball school that we call. Technically, also mentally, they are very strong.
Okay. Avital, good to see you. Nice to have you with us for this list. Who is your first player you're going to pick?
I think, you know, there are many great players, but I think I would go for, at this point, Magali Carvajal, simply for the point that at age 37, something like that, actually late in her volleyball career, maybe not in her top shape at that time in 2004, she was able to lead from a center position the team to win the Champions League. It was unique for such a relatively small club as Tenerife Marichal to be able to win the Champions League at that time. But she was an all-around player, a leader of the team, and she was maybe one of the last players who, as a center player, stayed on the court, even playing on the back court as receive and defense and attacking back row. And at that time, she was, even if for one day, she was the old Magali who played, well, at that time, the team of Massimo Barbolini, which was maybe much better than us at that time. But for one day, she showed the signs of being one of the great players of all time.
Okay. Massimo, is that a selection you would agree with?
About the second one?
For Magali Carvajal.
Yes, I remember very well that match. I remember very well that match that Avital is talking about. And also I remember her when she was in the best moment of her career, when she played with Mireia, when she played with Ruiz, when she played with Torres. And I think, and I agree with Avital that she was one of the best middle blockers of the history, for sure. I agree completely with him, because I had the chance to see her to play also when she was in a really good shape, but also when she was a little bit older, she was playing in an unbelievable way.
Okay, Massimo, who is your second selection?
My second is easy. It's easy because it's Kim. I think that she's one of the more, maybe the more decisive player, one of the more decisive player for one team. I saw her doing some things unbelievable in one match to decide the match. Also happened against me. I remember in the quarter-final of London when, all Korea played really well, but as usual, she was decisive in the important moment. I think that she's a leader. She's a great player, a great service, a great receiver, good block, and unbelievable in attack. So I think that in my experience in the last 20 years, 10 years for Kim, is for sure one of the three more decisive players that I saw playing volleyball. Unbelievable. In all the team that she played, she was decisive in club, in national team. So for sure, for me, Kim is one of the best, not European players that played and that are playing Champions League.
Marco, we have a great person like yourself to speak to about Kim. How good is she to work with every day?
Yes, nice player. Massimo talk everything. She's a decisive player, dominant player in different teams also. She played in different teams. Fenerbahce, also Zajibashi. She played last 2 seasons. She's an amazing player. And she's a complete player. No? She play behind, she play front. She has a good team spirit. I think is a good, very important nomination. I think is my top 3, include also Kim in this top 3. I just want the next step. I don't repeat some names. We try give different names, but in my the 3 best players inside this 3 nominations.
Okay, so give us a different player instead then. Who's your next nomination?
Zhu Ting. Zhu Ting for me is also amazing player. She grew a lot of last 3 years, 4 years. She's growing. We play against her in different competition and World Championship. And I saw her playing World Championship. We played many matches in our Turkish league, but she was decisive also in Champions League finals and many competitions with her team in the Vakif Bank. I think Zhu Ting is my nomination from this top 5.
Yeah,
I think
twice,
she's an incredible player.
Twice the Champions League winner already. How much more can she go and do in her career? Because when we speak now, as we're recording, she's only 25. You know, she arguably has the best years of her career ahead of her.
Yes, she's how I say, she's growing. When I saw her first time and I saw last years, she improved a lot of it, especially behind in reception. She's growing. She become sure one of the best, maybe one of the best 3 players in the world. She now is the best 3 players in the world. She can be sure the best player in the world in short time.
Okay. Avital, let's bring you back in. Who's your next player for the list?
Well, Actually, we're done. We have 5. You know, I agree with all, but just to add to the discussion, you know, there is, you know, on the center position we still have Fabiana to compete. Discussion, from Brazil. I mean, she played in Fenerbahce in the year that with Zé Roberto, if I'm not mistaken.
In 2011-12, yeah.
Yes. Logan Tom playing in the position of Larsen as well. Obviously, Zhu Ting and Kim are, you know, they were able to come in their prime time to Europe and really one, if not the best players that ever played in the Champions, dominant players. Let me put it this way: non-European dominant players. You know, this is, it could be, well, Logan Tom. Let me put, you know, Logan Tom.
Okay. The American, the former outside hitter, you know, Champions League winner with Fenerbahce in that same year as Fabiana Claudino in 2011-12. What made her such a good player?
Well, she's an all-around player. She's a type of player like Larsen, you know, but great defensive player. Spiritually, you know, really could take the team on her back and really lead the team and do all the small things, especially on defense, you know, and difficult balls to make the team stronger. And that I would say the character of Logan Tom.
Okay, Massimo, back to you. Who's your next pick?
Next is Sheilla Castro, because okay, she didn't play so many Champions League, but I think that she deserves to be in this list because she was also unbelievable player. She won 2 times Olympic Games, and I think it's for me has been every time one example. As one player, maybe not unbelievable from the physical point of view, because she cannot compare from some players. I don't know, Zhu Ting, for example, this kind of player. But you can be one unbelievable great player with your techniques, with your way to stay on the court. So also when I was coach of Italian national team, and it was the time in which she was playing in like first player, great players in the Brazilian national team, I saw her every time as example, like you can be a great player even if you are not so strong, unbelievable from the physical point of view. I saw her to play also in the last World Championship Cup, and she was playing. Now still playing in a great level, for sure not in the level of 10 years ago, but when you have technique, when you know what you do, what you can do, I think that it's important that to understand, to see these players, to understand how you can be a great player. And for this reason, I put Sheilla in this short list.
The one thing I always notice about Brazilian players, they always play with huge smiles on their faces. They always seem so happy. How important is it, Massimo, when you're building a team as a club side, to have players who have good personalities as well as excellent players?
No, it's true for sure. To enjoy, I think that it's really important. To enjoy, I think it's really important. I was lucky to work with many Brazilian players, great Brazilian players. I said, okay, I talk about Fofao, but I can talk about Valesca, I can talk about Thaisa. I don't want to forget nobody, but I think that this attitude to enjoy, but probably Marco can explain better than me, to enjoy when you play, to enjoy when you work, I think it's really important, also because you can transmit this into these sensations, this sensation to all the other players around you. And this is really important. Overall, when the moments are not so good, when everything is good, it's not a big problem. But when the things are not going so good, maybe to have some players with this attitude is really important.
Marco, what do you feed these Brazilian players back in Brazil?
Yeah, it's about spirit, Latin spirit. Become, Cuban, Dominican Republic, Brazilian players. Latin player has this characteristic: aggressive. They are aggressive. They are smart. They learn to play volleyball in different ways. They are smart to play. Many of them has similar characteristics, but like you said, in the world you have different characteristics, but good players everywhere. Everywhere in Europe you have different characteristics and very nice player. But now we are talking about foreign players, and Latin player has these characteristics. If you look also Cuban players, they have similar characteristics. They are more. These we come from our culture. It's not about sport, but about our culture.
So as a Brazilian person yourself, Marco, what characteristics do European players have that maybe Brazilians don't have?
Discipline, tactical discipline, especially tactical discipline, is a big difference between European players and Brazilian players, for example. Other players, also Brazilian, developed this a lot during the years, but we need to work a lot to develop the tactical discipline from Latin players, Dominican, Republic, Cuban, and Brazilian players, similar characteristics, like I said before. But that big difference is about that. I think if I need to give one characteristic for European players, is about tactical discipline.
Okay. Who is your final selection for the top 5?
It's hard. We talk about many players. Just want to give you other options. Well, maybe my best top 5 is inside this list, but I give other names. We have Bethania, De La Cruz, we have Mirka Francia, we have also Keba Phipps. They are dominant in their teams when they play. I want to choose one of them between Bethania, Mirka, and Keba Phipps. Mirka, maybe Massimo can talk better. He worked also with Mirka, also many players. Keba Phipps also work with Massimo. But Bethania also, Bethania de la Cruz is a very important player in this rank. She play important moments also in Champions League. I stay with Bethania de la Cruz.
Okay. So the Dominican opposite, she played for Chasibasi, Dinamo Moscow, and Scandici as well. She's played right across the continent. Why is she so special for those teams? Why have they signed her in the past?
He's a dominant player. I think, especially in attack, was very important player. We have many good players in this list, but what I focus about to be dominant in the team, to be real dominant in the team. And Bethania was, when she played, she was real important players in this winning in phase of the teams that she played.
Okay. So Bethania de la Cruz is on the list. Avital, the final player from you.
Okay, I would go for Mirka. And the reason is, if I can remember well, she would play in multiple positions, if I'm not mistaken. I remember playing in the middle, and maybe she used to play also a little bit on the outside in some way. Maybe Massimo can help me with that, because I don't remember where.
Oh, it's opposite too.
Opposite as well. Well, I would go with her.
Okay, perfect. Right, so we have a short list of such. We have Sheilla Castro, Bethania de la Cruz, we have Mirka Francia, we also have, who else do we have? Jordan Larson, we have Magali Carvajal, as nominated by Avital. Fofao is in the list, Zhu Ting, Logan Tom, and Kim Yeon-koung. Right, so now we have to narrow this down to the top 5. I don't really know how we're going to do this, but I'm going to put the pressure on Massimo to name, let's pick the 5th best player in the list.
Oh, the 5th? 5, I have to tell you 5 name. Okay, I tell you Fofao, Kim, Larson, Zhu, and it's difficult. It's not so easy.
Are there maybe 3 players that have to be on the list?
3?
We need to narrow it down to the best 5.
3 players, I told you, Fofao, Kim, and Larsson.
Is that fair? Marco, would you agree?
I go Larsson, Kim, and Zhu Ting.
And Avital, this is a very tough choice, I know.
For the 3, I must go with Massimo in just because Fofao, for me, you know, it's very obvious to go all the people who score a lot of points. But we know actually that the setter is sometimes the most underrated player among journalists, among fans, because it's not so spectacular. It's not, but we as coaches, we must give credit to the setter. The best setter always win usually, and I'm happy that Massimo brought Fofao into the list, because I did not even remember that she played in Europe so much. So she's a must stay. So I would go Fofao, Kim, and Larsson.
Okay. So it looks like we can all agree on Jordan Larsson, Kim Yeon-koung, Zhu Ting, and Fofao in the top 5. Is that okay? So we have 4 of the 5?
Yeah, okay. For me, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So we need one more player. Who else is going to get into the big 5? You also picked Magali Carvajal. You also picked Mirka Francia, Bethania de la Cruz, Sheilla Castro. Any of those players should go in with the ones we've already picked?
I vote for Mirka because she won 2 times. As one time as position 4 in Cannes, one time as opposite player in Murcia. So I think it was not so easy.
Marco, is that an okay pick for you?
Yes, I give you 3 names. My 4th name is nominated by Massimo, and is Fofao, no? Setter is my 4th nomination. My last nomination, I'm between Sheilla for me, maybe not for how she play in Champions League. The problem is like that, but how she play in the world competitions. No, she's an amazing player. I think she deserves also this nomination for. She play also in Champions League, but especially how she play in very important competition like Olympic Games.
Okay. Avital for the 5th player, Mirka, Sheilla, or somebody else?
Well, as I said, you know, I can go with any decision. You know, I'll be fine with that. But if we start to bring other competition into the game and overall, you know, dominance in the world, then you know, I can really. Sheilla is an unbelievable player as well. As I said, you know, Mirka, especially what she has done in the Champions League at that point, but she always played in a very, 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 very strong team, very strong league. That's why, you know, we can all remember her performance. But as I said, so if and multiple, you know, it's very strong argument that Massimo brings into the table. And the only thing I could say is what I said before about Magali, that she was able really to take the team and beat Mirka and Aguero as a former Cubans in that match, and in the finals of the Champions League. And I remember what she told me, and that's not for that discussion, but so just for the sake of argument, you know, I put Magali again on the table.
Okay. so we need to pick between Magali, Mirka, and Sheilla. Is anybody willing to accept a different opinion?
Maybe we choose 2 of them. Everyone chooses 2 of them.
You have to decide.
Some more.
It's too tough. Well, I think you guys are saying maybe that Sheilla Castro had better success with Brazil than she did with the club teams. Is that fair?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, so we leave Sheilla Castro out.
But that was also
so
for Magali, you know. That was Magali. All the Cuban players, they usually came after they were on the top. I mean, I'm sure if the Cuban players would come to Europe in their prime, they would be maybe more dominant in our Champions League, but that was not the case, and that's what, you know, very, very difficult to compare. Mirka was able to be earlier. You know.
Yes, my just question about Carvalhal is he exploded before, a little bit before, no? 90, between 90 and 2000 is the best time of Carvalhal. No? Sheilla exploded between 2000 2010.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's why
between 2004, 2012, for example, the time of Sheilla was more recent. No, Mirka is also 2000, between 2000, 2012, 2014, no, something like that. Yeah. I think it's different time. You know, they have different time. But Magali Carvajal is an amazing player, one of the best middle block in the world, sure.
Okay, so who are we going for?
This question is very hard.
Marco, you're going to have the decision. You have the decision here.
To decide.
To decide the fifth player.
No, I continue with Sheilla. Also, argument of Massimo is very. If you look just Champions League, my choice is Mirka, sure. Okay, Champions League. What she did in Champions League in the teams was more. But I will talk about players in more wide scenario. It's about that. I think if I need to choose, my idea, maybe we can explain. If you want, each one choose two players. Maybe we can define it the last one in the best way. Understand? If each one choose two or three players, can be good option for us, maybe.
Okay. Well, whichever player we pick here from Mirka or Sheilla or Magali needs to go in fifth place, and then we have four more players to rank. So who?
Mirka and Sheilla. Mirka and Sheilla is my choice, two of them.
Okay. Massimo?
Me too.
Avital?
Well, then I go with Mirka.
Okay. Can we agree on Mirka?
Mirka was the choice.
Okay.
So Mirka, three of us put Mirka in the best two players.
Okay. So Mirka Francia is our fifth best non-European. Okay, so now we have Fofao, Jordan Larson, Kim Yeon-koung, and Zhu Ting. Who is number 4 of all time?
In this one, now it's difficult, really difficult. In this 4, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. Maybe Kim. Maybe Kim, 4th. Maybe Kim for what they talk about Fofao, about Larsson, about Zhu for the future. That Zhu, I think that we will have, because maybe if we talk in 5 years, we talk about we will find again Zhu. So maybe Kim as 4th, I put.
Marco, is that fair?
Yes, in 4th place. It's hard decision now. Very hard decision. I will put Fofao. Fofao also is an amazing player, but I put Fofao in the 4th place.
Avital?
Well, you know, I really think that any setter deserves to be in a higher place. You know, they all can be. You know, I know if there is somebody, if you take the setter out, then probably Larsson would be number 5. If you and Zhu Ting and and Kim will be number 1 and 2, and then Mirka, because she can play. Or they have the ability to decide by themselves, high ball, you know. But so in that aspect, Larsson is very definitely dependent on the setter, as well as the setter dependent on Larsson, because if Larsson brings the balance in passing, then the setter can be doing what she's supposed to do. So actually, it's very tough call, and actually, we should give credit to Larsson being, you know, I'm sure. Well, actually, they all great players, you know, but Larsson gives and makes the team much stronger without even, you know, scoring the points. And for foul, any setter, definitely. And so I'll go with Kim as a very, very dominant player. So that's, you know, I'll put Larsson as number, even though she had the opportunity to play and win more than maybe other players. I'll put her number 4 because of the importance of the other 3.
Okay, so we have 1 vote for Kim, 1 vote for Fofao, and 1 for Larsson as the 4th best player. How do we decide this? Maybe let's go to the 3rd best player instead. Who is the 3rd best player to have played in the Champions League who isn't European, Massimo?
Larsson.
Okay. And maybe who is your 2nd?
Maybe my 2nd, Fofao, and 1st, Kim.
Oh, wow, okay. Marco.
It's really difficult because you can do this and you can put all the names, and as you do, you are right or you are wrong.
Yeah, sure, of course.
But I can motivate for this reason, because I think that Zhu is the future. It's not only the present, it's also the future. And so I think that she can stay in the 1st place, for sure, in my opinion. But also there are many reasons to put also Fofao as 1st, or Jordan Larsson that won in different teams, in different situations. They are all unbelievable players. But if I have to say something, I tell you this one.
Okay.
This way.
Marco, can you give us your top 3?
Top 3 is King, Zhu Ting, and Jordan Larsson.
In which order?
Kim, like a 31. Between Zhu Ting and Jordan is Jordan is more a complete player, but I think Zhu Ting is very, very dominant in this scenario. I can put Jordan like a 2nd and Zhu Ting like a 1st one.
Okay. And Avital?
I would put number 1, Zhu Ting, Kim, number 2, Fofao, number 3.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I think, is it fair to say that the majority of you have said Zhu Ting is number 1? Is that okay? Can we agree that? Okay. Let's say Zhu Ting. Zhu Ting is number 1. Number 2, we've got 1 vote for Fofao, 1 vote for Jordan Larsson, and 1 vote for Kim. I don't know how to separate them. You guys, you know, you say it could be in any order. They're all such great players. But is there anybody that really deserves to be behind Zhu Ting for their achievements in the European game?
Jordan Larsson.
Can we agree, guys? Is that okay for this?
I agree with Marco.
Avital?
Well, I'm just joining, you know, just to, you know, again, you know, I have to make this clear, you know, I put Jordan Larsson on number 4 just because I wanted to, I see the importance of Kim and Zhu Ting as dominant players who could even win without Larsson or without a dominant setter because of their ability, you know. But I wanted to, and I decided to give Fofao the benefit of being a setter on Larsson, which is, so actually by agreeing with that, and she jumps from number 4 to number 2 in the list. But, you know, this is not even a discussion, you know, they are all, you know, volleyball is a team sport, and you cannot win by yourself. So, you know, for me, they are all great players. So obviously I have no objection to live with Larsson in second place.
Okay.
No problem.
But for third place, do we want Fafau in there to give a setter some kind of prominence in this list?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and then I feel that means that Kim goes to fourth.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll go for that. I'll put them in, like in judo and boxing. I put them in the same place, 2 third places, and then the rest goes. They deserve to earn a medal. Both.
Okay.
Both.
So guys, I think we have our top 5. In 5th place, Merkia Francia, Kim Yeon-koung in 4th, Fafau in 3rd, Jordan Larsson in 2nd, and Zhu Ting in 1st place. Marco, this just goes to show, I think, how lucky we are as Europeans, and you yourself working in Europe, to have such amazing players play in our domestic leagues.
Exactly.
It's so hard to separate them.
Exactly. The top star in the world, they perform very well in our championship, in Champions League, and also in local leagues. We are very lucky to play with this player in Europe for a long time. I think, except maybe Fofana, that play maybe 4 or 5 years in Europe. The other players play long time. Also, Zhu probably he turned to Europe. Into top 5.
And Avital, is there a player that you would, from this list, that you would just love to work with more than any other player?
No, I think all the players we mentioned are top athletes, and there are some more players which we did not even mention. But it's great players to work with, and for me as a coach, that was a great experience to get to know other players from all over the world, and to learn how different style of volleyball. But all the names that are here, I'm sure they are top athletes and great players to work with.
Okay. And finally, let's end with Massimo. Is there a player maybe who's not on this list that maybe in 10 years' time will be on this list, like a rising star who's from one of the non-European countries?
I don't know. It's not so easy to understand now, because I think that this list is a really, really good list. It's a really good list. For players in the future, if you ask me now maybe I have problem to see something so strong as this player. As I told you before, for example, Zhu, I think that she will be in this list for, 10 years now, but maybe 5 years for sure. So it's not so easy to see some players of this level. For sure, volleyball is increasing the level, and I think that for all the players, it's really important to play this competition, CEV competition, because as we said, maybe they are so strong in national team, but I think that to play this competition as Champions League overall is really, really important for growing up. So now I think that this list is perfect. I think that I can say that I was really lucky to work with some of these players, and I think that this list is a really good list. As my colleague said, probably many players deserve to be in this top 5. But I think every coaches have some opinions, and our opinions went to this decision.
Okay. Guys, it's been a really great discussion this morning. Finally, we managed to get our top 5 of Merkia Francia, Kim Yeon-koung, Fafau, Jordan Larsson, and Zhu Ting is our number 1 for best non-European players to have played in the Champions League. Guys, it's been great to have your company today. Thanks very much for joining us. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you on the court soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.